Welcome to the latest edition of Catholic World. I'm Frank Krishna and I'm here to bring you events, news and controversies which are of interest to the Catholic community across the world. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
Islamic extremists in Mali are forcing Christians over 18 in the village of Dimapur, located in the Mopti region near Dugutin commune, to pay exorbitant JIZYA taxes of 25,000 CFA francs. This demand shows escalation in the jihadists' persecution of the church. The payment is required for Christians to practice their faith, with threats of church closures for those who cannot or will not comply. Christians in the area face frequent physical attacks and worsening issues such as inadequate infrastructure, closed schools, and insecurity. Christians constitute only 2.35% of Mali's 20 million population.
From Singapore, a Catholic priest was stabbed during Holy Mass last Saturday. The attacker was caught and handed over to the police. He was a Sri Lankan man. The Singapore police honored two parishioners for their bravery in catching the suspect and restraining him.
Yeah, we saw our priest was being attacked. It's very instinctively that we got to go and disarm this person.
I needed to do something to make sure that no one else gets hurt or nothing bad further happens. Yeah.
Father Peter Gallagher S.J., the provincial of the Jesuits in Britain, signed the Jesuits for Climate Justice Global Statement for COP29, calling for global leaders to address the climate crisis with decisive measures. In line with Pope Francis, the Jesuits in Britain have been actively contributing to help tackle the climate crisis. They have founded the Laudato Si Research Institute at Oxford University, dedicated to advancing an integral ecology approach. Anglican and Catholic bishops have told ministers in the UK that corporations promoting the use of fossil fuels should pay additional taxes. The Right Reverend Graham Usher for the Church of England and Right Reverend John Arnold for the Catholic Church in England and Wales call for higher taxes on major polluters. The pair are lead bishops for environmental affairs in their respective churches. Jesuit Father General Arturo Sosa made his first official visit to Ukraine from November 6 to 10th. The Ukrainian mission is a part of the southern Poland province of the Society of Jesus. It consists of communities in Lviv, Khmelnytsky, and Chernivtsi. The Jesuits there are deeply committed to service, providing support in parishes, military chaplaincy, retreats, and working with the Jesuit Refugee Service, JRS. JRS is involved in offering assistance to many who have had their lives disrupted due to the war.
Catholic parishes across the world observe the World Day of the Poor this November. Now, what is the World Day of the Poor, you're asking? Here's a report.
The World Day of the Poor is to help the disadvantaged and poor. It is also a day to spread more awareness to the needs of the poor across the world and encourage people to take more action in serving them. It began soon after the Pope's meeting with the poor during the Jubilee Year of Mercy. It was also at this meeting that the Pope made a public apology to them.
Les pido perdón todas las veces que los cristianos delante de una persona pobre o de una situación pobre miramos para otro lado. Perdón. Hermanos y hermanas, os necesito a todos, a cada uno de vosotros. Vosotros que estáis al pie de la cruz, quizás solos, aislados, abandonados, sin casa, expulsados de vuestra familia o de vuestro país, víctimas del alcohol, de la prostitución, de la enfermedad. Sed conscientes de que Dios os ama. Dios escucha especialmente vuestra oración. El mundo sufre y vuestra oración conmueve al Señor. Vosotros que sois pequeños, sois pobres, frágiles, sois el tesoro de la Iglesia. Estáis en el corazón del Papa, en el corazón de María, en el corazón de Dios. Cada vez que vuestra vida ha sido pisoteada, maltratada, ofendida, es Jesús quien ha sido pisoteado, maltratado, ofendido. Hoy el Papa quiere consolarlos, acercarles un consuelo y decirles que los quiere y los invita a acudir a la fuente.
Red Wednesday, a day to raise awareness for those oppressed for their Christian faith. On 20th of November, more than 20 countries will participate. The charity, Church in Need, is organizing awareness-raising and fundraising events in hundreds of cities across all continents, except Antarctica, during which churches and other buildings will be lit up in red. Activities such as masses, talks, live streams, concerts and parliamentary discussions will be taking place throughout the week.
If you're wondering where the Pope gets his briefcase repaired, don't look any further.
It is typical for Pope Francis to take his work briefcase with him on trips. And after 11 years of traveling around the world, the handle has broken.
Abbiamo avuto in riparazione la valigetta di Papa Francesco. Vedete?
As usual, he tries to fix what he already has. He does not buy new things. In addition, for repairs, he turns to local craftsmen or workers. Daniel Arellano is one of the craftsmen who works near San Pedro.
Mi sentí también muy orgulloso, feliz.
I also felt very proud, happy, and honored to be able to fix a briefcase of such an important person. Pope Francis's briefcase is as good as new and waiting to be seen on his next trip. This would not have been possible without the love of a craftsman with knowledge of what he does.
Arreglar su maletín de Papa Francisco para...
Fixing the briefcase of Pope Francis for me has been a pride, an honor, and also something important. I tried to do a very good job so that he can continue using his briefcase in important trips he makes.
Catholics in Pakistan are really elated. And you know why? The Vatican has started the first steps along the long road to canonization of Akash Bashir. Now, who is Akash Bashir? Why should he be on the first steps to sainthood? Watch this.
Could he be the first saint of Pakistan?
Akash was 18 years old when he stopped a suicide bomber from entering our church in Lahore. He was a volunteer to guard the church. There were more than 2,500 people that day in St. John's Catholic Church. Mass was being celebrated. He saw a man trying to storm into the church. The man said he had a bomb, but Akash didn't move. He held the terrorists to keep him from entering the church. The bomber blew himself up. Akash was killed instantly, but he saved many. It was an act of love. Akash was a young Catholic like me. He also experienced harassment, threats, and discrimination just for being a follower of Jesus. Akash, that like the martyrdom of many other Catholics in Pakistan, is our inspiration to endure until the end. In St. John's Parish, even after the attack and death of Akash, we have over 800 baptismals a year. We might be a poor church in resources, but we are rich in faith and love. I wonder if I could do the same as Akash. Even to convert to Islam would make our lives easier, but we don't. Every time I think of his death, I remember St. John's Gospel. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friend.
In the Synoptic Gospels, Jesus told the Pharisees, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to God what is God." In other words, pay your taxes. Now that is exactly what India's Supreme Court has pointed out to priests and nuns who are working as teachers in government-aided schools.
The Supreme Court has ordered the imposition of tax deducted at source TDS on the salaries paid to nuns and priests working as teachers in government-aided educational institutions. The Madras High Court had earlier ruled that salaries earned by nuns and priests were taxable under Section 192 of the Income Tax Act because they received payment individually before forwarding it to religious institutions. The court ruled that the transfer of funds to dioceses was an application of income. The petitioner's counsel highlighted that, according to canon law, nuns and priests suffer civil death upon taking their vows, surrendering all personal income to the church. A bench comprising Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice J.B. Pardwala, and Justice Manoj Mishra upheld the Madras High Court's decision. Senior advocate Arvind Datar argued that they have renounced the world. For the last 85 years, the priests were never taxed. He relied on an earlier circular issued in the 1940s by the Central Board of Direct Taxes, CBDT. The bench remained unconvinced. The Chief Justice said, "Without a statutory exemption, taxation cannot be avoided." In dismissing the appeals, the Supreme Court affirmed the principle of uniform tax law, stating, "The law is common for everyone."
The message is clear. First, pay your taxes, just like all the other lay people, and then donate whatever you want to the church or to your congregation. So, what's the problem here?
Monsignor Dennis Kurupaseri was consecrated as the Auxiliary Bishop of Kannur on 10th November 2024 at Holy Trinity Cathedral in Kannur, South India.
News from Mary Queen of Apostles Parish in Kurji, Patna. 34 people, including religious sisters, brothers, and youth members, are getting ready to perform street plays on Constitution Day in November. An initial training in street theater was conducted earlier this month at the Kurji Parish.
Don Bosco College, Sultan Batheri, in Kerala State, set up its campus radio, empowering students to take the airwaves and make their mark. DB Radio marks a pioneering achievement. It is the first campus radio in Sultan Batheri.
ഏറ്റവും ഉയരത്തിലുള്ള ഡോൺ ബോസ്കോ കോളേജിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും മനോഹരമായിട്ടുള്ള DB റേഡിയോ ഇന്ന് ഈ സമയത്ത് ഇവിടെ ലോഞ്ച് ആവുകയാണ്. വയനാടിന്റെ ആദ്യത്തെ ക്യാമ്പസ് റേഡിയോ.
പാഷനോടുകൂടി നമുക്ക് ഈ റേഡിയോ പ്രോഗ്രാമിനെ സമീപിക്കാം. All the best to all the students.
500 young people from various oratory centers, parishes, and church units in Nagaland and Assam came together at the Salesian College in Dimapur. The theme of the youth conference was Eucharist the Way to Heaven, based on the cyber apostle, Blessed Carlo Acutis. It was organized to deepen faith, strengthen community ties, and celebrate cultural heritage. Brothers from the Salesian College community engaged the youngsters for a day of spiritual renewal, personal growth, and joyous celebration. St. Xavier's Higher Secondary in Pathaliagat, Tripura, organized the second Don Bosco football tournament for under-19 boys. The 2-week-long event drew 57 teams from across Tripura at the Don Bosco Mini Stadium in Puthaliyaga. The tournament underscored the institution's commitment to youth empowerment and sportsmanship. The grand final featured an intense matchup between Kalam Kai and Don Bosco School, Naba Sardar. Kalam Kai clinched the championship title.
Could you tell us a little bit about your role and what you do in the church in India?
Well, personally, I am the leader of my congregation.
Yes.
And I have 1,500 members.
Yes.
The congregation of the Apostolic Carmel.
Yes.
That is one responsibility. The other responsibility is that I'm also the president of the Conference of Women Religious India.
Okay.
Which has more than 100,000 religious, is the largest in the world.
That's amazing. That's an amazing
So
number.
that is a lot of accompaniment with all religious in India.
Yes, yes.
And there have been a number of things which have come about, very especially in the last year and a half.
Right. And
Yeah.
these are women and men congregations?
Yes, until May 2024,
Yes.
I was the president for both men and women.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it was everyone together.
Yes.
And then I got re-elected as president because we have only one term for national president.
Yes.
But you can be re-elected, and I was re-elected for the president for the Conference of Women Religious again.
In your experience as a woman leader and having so many ministries and organizations under you, what are some of the key attitudes or skills women might need to help them in their roles?
Firstly, we appreciate women and women religious a lot.
Yes.
Because they are there in every nook and corner. They
Yes.
are the voice of the voiceless.
Yes.
But when it comes to them
Yes.
and their issues, they
Yes.
step back.
Yeah.
There is, as I said, India is a highly patriarchal society. So
Yes.
you already are put on the back foot.
Yes.
And that was my first task as president of the Conference of Women Religious.
Yes.
That you have power within you.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the power is not to fight, but to
Correct.
walk together with people of the church,
Yes.
whether it's bishops, priests, or lay people.
Yes.
And we must discover that power. That's our strength.
Yes.
It's very interesting. The women are ready to fight with government, civil authorities. But when it comes to church,
Yes.
they simply are tongue-tied and go into a silence. Even
Yes.
though they know things are wrong,
Yes.
they will not speak.
Yes.
And I understand that very well because I've gone through it personally, the struggle as president.
Yes.
Whenever I raised issues, it was always a struggle.
Yes.
But I think now, at least some people in India
Yes.
know that there is a woman who is accompanying the other women.
Yes.
And women are coming out much more. They are very good.
Yes.
They're very good with mission, very good
Yes.
with work. But when it comes to this area, somehow, we step back and become second class.
Yes. Well, you are an inspiration to many women.
But we
Sister Nirmala.
try to work together.
But yes, we do need more courage
Yeah.
and more sensitivity and more cooperation
Yes.
and so many things. So
That's almost all I have for this week. But as I go, I want to leave all of you who watch Netflix with this very strong recommendation. Watch out for this film coming up in the first week of December.
Your birth was a gift for your mother and I. It was a miracle. But in exchange, I made a promise.
We have been waiting.
Great Herod, the prophecy speaks of the coming Messiah.
What need have we of a Messiah? Let it be understood! I am your king.
far more powerful than words, child.
I don't understand how it is your will that I should marry this perfect stranger.
You are to have a son.
But that's not possible.
All things are possible. You've laid with a man.
No, Father, I need you.
You'll be put to death.
I'm gonna bring this child into the world with love.
I don't care what they say. I will love you as best as I can.
This Messiah, is he real? Has he been born? Where is he? Tell me! Where is he?
Love will cost you dearly. But in the end, love will save the world.